Hi everyone, it's Shari Carroll for simonsaysstamp.com, and I have a project that I've created using the Prima Frameworks Birdcage. This birdcage is perfect for a shabby chic look. It's painted in an antique white and it has a really nice distress look to it. One of the things I was really intrigued with by Prima is their paper clay, and I wanted to create a couple shapes. So I have a wow mold here, and this is a really nice rounded heart shape. So I'm going to go ahead and try out the paper clay. You're going to go ahead and open up the package. It is really sealed up, so it might be easier just to go ahead and grab your scissors and snip off the end. Once you get the second layer of packaging open, it's just a little plastic protection sleeve around there. Go ahead and grab enough that's going to fit right into your mold. Then wrap up your clay really well, and if you need to, go ahead and put it back in that bag and then also into a Ziploc bag and seal that up really well. So I'm going to start off with this clay. I'm going to knead it a little bit and just kind of mold it into the shape that I'm going to work with it, which is the heart shape. And then I'm going to go ahead and press that right into the mold. Once I have that pressed in, I can go ahead and invert that mold and push that out. So here I have my heart, and I want to smooth that out a little bit, so I'm going to add just a little bit of water here on my acrylic block and just dip my finger into that water and go ahead and smooth the top of that heart. I've used an additional mold and I've created some little flower shapes and a butterfly, and I've made two of the hearts. So I've let these dry a little bit and you can start to see the white form around the edges. But to clean them up, I used my X-Acto blade and I cut off the excess clay around the edges. I'm going to go ahead and leave these on the block and I'll let these dry overnight. I have used some of the Tim Holtz dies and I've die cut the name Amelia because I'm going to be putting a baby picture into my frame, and I have this new paint from Prima, and this is like a rose gold. It's an opalesque type paint. It's really soft and it has a really great sheen to it. So I have enough on my lid here. I'm just going to go ahead and start painting onto my letters, just right onto my paper work surface here, and I'm just going to give these a really light coat to start off with, and then I'll go back later and add a second coat. The picture I'm using is of my new grandniece, and I've done a black and white with just a slight tint. I've added some strips of adhesive to the back and also a few foam dots. I want the top part of it to kind of sit off from the back of the frame. So I'm going to put this on at an angle and kind of pull up that one end, and then I can go ahead and take the backing off those foam dots. As an accent, I'm using the Prima Flowers lace, and I figured out that it takes about 3 to get across this back of the frame. So I'll go ahead and snip those off with my scissors. I'll be adding these down with my matte medium, and it's a little dry. It's down to the bottom of this completely, so I'm going to do my best at trying to get a little bit of matte medium onto the back of this lace here. You can see where it's just really hard. And then I'm going to go ahead and switch to my glossy medium, which I have a lot of. But I'll go ahead and press that down and let that dry, and that will sit in the back of that bird cage. Now I'm ready to start adding some Prima flowers, and I have my glossy gel medium here, which is really nice and fluid. And I'm also using a palette knife just to scoop into the tub and add a dollop on the back of those flowers. So I'll start adding my flowers in and arranging them not just on the back of the frame, but also in the base of the bird cage. As I'm putting these flowers down, I want them to stand up more than just lay flat down. So I'm putting my gel medium on the edges of the flowers, and I might have to kind of hold them up for a little bit until that dries slightly. But I want everything to sit upright so that as you're looking at the piece front on, you'll be able to see the flowers. I'm using a combination of 3 different type of flowers. One is a white, one is a really nice glittered pink, and the other is a really nice iridescent rose. Another fun product that I found is called Art Stones, and these are like little paper balls. They're really lightweight, so it's like a paper clay that's been rolled up really lightly. So any place that my gel medium might be showing, I'm going to go ahead and add some of those balls in there. These are perfect if you just need a little bit of filler or if you need some texture on a canvas, because they're so lightweight. You can just add your gel medium down, then go ahead and sprinkle the little stones right on, and they really hold well. So I'm going to go ahead and add some just to the base, or add some of my gel medium just to the base, and I'm checking to see if I have any loose rolling around. Since I didn't, I'm going to go ahead and just add a few more. Okay, so my clay is dry. It is the next day, and I have an emery board here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this to clean up any of those edges that I might need to. I also have some distress paint, tattered rose, and I'm using the dauber top, and I'm just wiping the edges of the butterfly just to give it a hint of color. Next, I'm going to go ahead and color one of the hearts completely just by touching the top, and also some of the little flower petals that I've created out of that paper clay. So as these pieces start to dry, I can see if I need to add more color or keep them as they are. For the heart that I'm putting at the top of the cage, I'm just going to use just one little quick wipe of that dauber just to give it just a hint of color to the right side. My die cut letters came out really nicely, and I did go ahead and use my sewing machine to stitch those together to form kind of a little banner. So I'll be tying this to the inside of the bird cage, and I'll just do a loose tie to see how it's fitting. Once I have it how I want it, I can go ahead and secure that with some matte medium. I've gone ahead and put the back on and folded over the metal tabs. And at this point, I want to go ahead and add some glitter to my hearts. So I'm using my gloss gel medium right now with the paintbrush, and I'm just adding a little bit of that to that right side. And then I have my dry glitter, which is the rock candy glitter from Ranger. And I'll go ahead and sprinkle that on just onto that one side. I'm using a folded paper to catch all the glitter, and then I can go ahead and just put that right back into the jar. So now I'm going to cover the entire surface of the pink heart, and again I'm going to be using the glitter, but for this one I'm going to go ahead and set it down on my catch paper, and then I can sprinkle the glitter all over the front just to get that entirely covered. I'll let those set aside to dry for a little bit, and in the meantime I can go ahead and add my other paper clay pieces. So I think I'll start with the butterfly. You can either use your matte medium or a heavy gel medium or even a glue gun for this. I'm using my matte medium from Ranger, and I'm going to go ahead and put it right onto that rail and also some on the back of that butterfly. So once I have this set in place, I can just go ahead and press that down against that rail. I've added a twine bow and my heart to the top of the bird cage, and I'm really pleased at how that paper clay turned out. It almost looks like stone. You can also see a bit of the glitter and also a hint of the color. The combination of flowers in the bottom of the bird cage along with the art stones really looks beautiful, and also the second heart that is painted with tattered rose distress paint and covered in glitter. One of my favorite parts about this piece is how the name came out, where it's sewn and suspended on the side of the cage, and also how all the flowers and all the colors of the paints coordinate with the colors in the photograph. I hope I've given you some inspiration to create a gift or display piece for your home. I have included a list of the supplies I've used for this project. Just check the description below. And also included is a link to the blog post, which includes still shots of this piece. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest, and also here on YouTube. And as always, thanks so much for watching.